Hi guys and dolls, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Janay and I'm back with another video. And in this video I will be talking about mental health and going off to college. I just want to start off saying I'm a college student. I'm a junior. For those that don't know, I'm a psychology major. So I love psychology. I love talking about mental health, especially clinical psychology and neuroscience. Those stuff just fascinate me, which is why sooner or later I'm going to get a PhD in it. However, in this video I really want to share some tips from what I learned and from what I've heard about how to manage your mental health when you go off to college. So tip number one is set up your support network. So if you know anybody that's going to the same school that you're going to, whether it's friends or acquaintances, maybe meet up with them and have that buddy that you can walk to class, or someone to sit at the dining hall with. Also check to see with your therapist, your psychiatrist, your dietitian or nutritionist. See if you can find one. If you're going off far away, see if you can find one that's around your college. If you don't know where to start with finding one, you can always ask for referrals or Google search and typing in therapist or clinical psychologist in blah 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 zip code. That can help you generate some responses and some searches for you that you can find. Number two, know how much you can take on. This is such a big important tip, guys. So many students, I hear it all the time, they're working 2 jobs and they're going to school full time, or they're working 1 job, they're going to school full time, and they feel like their head is going to explode with all the amount of work that they have to do. And that's how burnout can happen. And so I would say know how much you can take on, whether it's being classes. I know my standard course load is 6 classes. For some people, that's way too much. They're already struggling with 4 classes. But for me, my standard course load is 6 classes. That's how much I can take on. Extracurriculars. If you're at a school that has Greek life and honor societies and theater and so many other organizations and clubs, you know that you can't join every single club that you want to do. So you're going to have to prioritize and pick, okay, which clubs are most important to me that I would want to be in. And that way you know how much you can take on, because if you're just signing up for everything and you have to go to all the interest meetings and orientations and group meetings and events, and then you feel like your whole entire schedule that you have is now full. So please know how much you can take on. Tip number 3, use your coping skills. Bring whatever that makes you comfortable at home. Bring that to college. Whether it's music, journals, movies. I know, and for those that have seen my video, it's called Disassociation, Harm OCD, and Side Effects. I think it's almost like 250 views. For those that have seen that, you see that I have this gigantic Scooby-Doo that I'm like holding. I love that Scooby-Doo. For those that don't know me, like, fun fact about me, like, I love Scooby-Doo. I absolutely love Scooby-Doo. I collect all the DVDs and all of that. And that was something for me that brought comfort and brought security. So I would bring that off to my college dorm, and that would be like an extra pillow that I would have. So do what makes you comfortable. Do what helps you cope with life, cope with reality. There's no shame. I prefer you guys bringing a stuffed animal off to college than bringing, for example, an X-Acto knife and cutting yourself. And I can share my story later on when it comes to self-harm. But And we'll talk about that later, but please use your coping skills. Bring your tools in your toolbox, as Katie Morton would say. Number 4, make sure you have your medication and a pharmacy set up near where you're going to be. When I was off at college, I set up a pharmacy with CVS that was like a block away, and I would go and pick up my medication every month, and that was pretty easy for me. So I would recommend or asking your provider for a 3-month supply if you think you're going to be busy, or if you're going to not be sure where to get your medication from. You always want to make sure that you have your medication. Just recently, I ended up going off my medication for a while because I ran out of it and I didn't have any doctors to refill it, except for my primary care doctor, which at first she declined my request and then she approved it. Another story for another time. But just make sure you have your medicine, because withdrawal is real. Withdrawal is real. I did a video on Seroquel withdrawal. It's a real thing. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Number 5, check the office for disability and accommodations. If you're someone that needs extended time, needs notes taken for them, needs the lectures to be recorded, anything of that nature, check that office. Every school, I'm sure, has one, especially if you had something called an IEP in high school or middle school. This is kind of like the same, but for college. So, yeah, please provide that so you can get the better grades that you can get and all of that. And last but not least, number 6, join a NAMI on campus. I'm so excited to talk about NAMI on campus. I'm actually currently trying to start one at my university. We don't have a NAMI on campus. And for those that are wondering, what is NAMI on campus? NAMI on campus is National Alliance on Mental Illness organization that has a national club called NAMI on campus, in which students can do NAMI walks. You can talk about mental health. You can have panel discussions. You can do assemblies. You can spread awareness around your university. You can help advocate and implement different mental health policies on campus. So NAMI on campus is something that is so incredible. If your school has one, be thankful, because my school does not have one, and I've been in the process of trying to make one for about a year now, and it has been a challenge, but I'm not giving up. And so if you guys are interested in starting a NAMI on campus, you can also email me if you have any questions about that or any ideas. But get started if you want. If there is one at your university, join, take leadership in it. I think it'll be an amazing experience, especially if you want to work in the mental health or psychology field or move up with the NAMI organization. I think it's a great start. But these are all my tips for managing your mental health when going back to college or starting college. I really hope that these tips will help you guys. And always remember that you're more beautiful than you think, you're more talented than you know, and you're more loved than you can possibly imagine. And I hope that you all have a great, fantastic school year. Bye, guys.